welcome to this episode of Kim in the Kitchen. Today we're going to be making pasta carbonara, which is an easy weeknight meal for those work nights, school nights, less than 30 minutes. So let's get started. First of all, you're going to need a pound of bacon. You're going to need some eggs, some Parmesan cheese. You're going to need some minced garlic, some parsley flakes, salt and pepper. I have Texas toast that I use as my side, and then tomato to cut up and put on top of it once it's finished. So let's go ahead and get started getting everything ready to get this recipe going so we can give this pasta carbonara a tasty. Alright, so first of all I have my water getting ready for a boil for our pasta, and I'm just using regular spaghetti. You can use whatever you like, linguine, spaghetti, thin pasta, whatever is fine. So first of all we have to chop up the bacon and get it ready to put in the pan so we can get the sauce made. So let's get started. See me? Alright, so let me move all the ingredients over and we're going to start with our bacon. So I just kind of chop it. And you'll get it out of your package. Alright, and then we're just going to chop it into little pieces. And mine is frozen, but it's just because I put mine in the freezer, which is fine. You do what you want to do with yours. So I just chop it up like this. I just cut all the way across it, and then when it cooks up, it's just little crumbles. This is one of our favorite recipes. It's kind of a go-to for a quick weeknight meal for our family. We pretty much like anything pasta, but this is one of our favorites because it's quick and it tastes really good and it takes no time to make. Okay, so literally that's all the meat that you have to chop up. Okay, we're going to take the bacon, we're going to put it over in the Dutch oven, and we're going to get it all good and browned up, and then we'll start getting our other ingredients together while the bacon's cooking. I'm going to take you guys over here, turn the heat up on the pan. I'm going to put it about medium high for this bacon. I did go ahead and spray this just because I don't want the other ingredients that I put in here to stick. And now we're just going to drop this bacon down in here and get this started browning while we do all of our other stuff. So we're just going to let that bacon be happy in that pan cooking, get all browned up while we're working on chopping all of our other stuff and getting it ready. I have my water getting ready for a boil, and we're going to go over here and get chopping on our other ingredients and get all of our stuff ready. All right, so for the first thing, you're going to need 5 eggs. So we'll lay these out. Let me get a separate dish to break these in. Okay, so I have my separate dish. Alright, so we're going to crack our eggs one at a time and put them in the bowl. So 1 egg at a time. Oh, and make a mess with them. So that's 1. 2. 3. 4. If y'all can't tell, I've been at school all day counting, so I'm counting for y'all, so you know how many eggs I'm putting in here. 4. 5. Okay. Now, we have our 5 eggs in the bowl. Now to this bowl, what we're going to do is add salt and pepper, parsley, and Parmesan cheese. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to add is my Parmesan cheese to this bowl with the 5 eggs. And you're gonna add almost all of this. This is a 5-ounce container, so I'm gonna add about 4 ounces of that. This Parmesan, the little bit that's left, to top the pasta with. So now we're gonna put pepper. This is just to taste, so however much pepper you want. I'm gonna add some salt, a good pinch of salt. And then to this, we're gonna add parsley. This is just parsley flakes. You can add fresh if you want. I just do the parsley flakes. And I put about 1.5 tablespoons of parsley flakes. Okay, then what you're gonna do, it's gonna look like this, and we're gonna beat those eggs and that cheese up together. Okay, so that's what it's gonna look like. Now, with me sitting here looking at it, I can see that it needs a little more pepper, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that, because this is what's gonna make our sauce for the pasta. Okay, all right, so that looks about right. So we're gonna set that to the side, and we're gonna go over and check on our bacon. So let's go back over here. We're gonna check on that sizzling bacon, and it's getting good and yummy, and already smells amazing. All right, so now we'll come back over. This is a lot of back and forth for this recipe. So I'm gonna put my eggs and my Parmesan cheese to the side, put my salt and pepper up, and we're gonna save this for the end of the recipe. And I have 2 tomatoes. I'm gonna cut and board, and we're gonna chop these tomatoes up for our recipe. Okay, I've already washed them, so now we're just gonna slice these up. And this is just to go on top of the pasta once it is ready. This is definitely optional. You do not have to have this. I just personally like it myself, so I do it for myself. On these Romas, I kind of take the seeds out of them, just because I feel like they're really seedy tomatoes. But so I just kind of cut that middle out of them, and then you have the whole middle there, so you can slice it a little bit easier. I like Romas better just because I think they have a better flavor. For like cooking and for like Italian dishes that I do, I feel like the Roma have just a little bit better of a flavor. Okay, so we have those chopped. I'm gonna chop this one up. We'll de-seed it. I also think these are a lot easier to slice when you're slicing a tomato, or using it for recipes, because I feel like a big tomato, you really don't know exactly how you're supposed to slice it, other than the rounds to put like on a hamburger or something. But I feel like this is easier. But if that's all you have on hand, go for it. Or if you don't have tomatoes, you don't have to. If you don't like them, definitely not something you have to have for this recipe. Alright, so our tomatoes are chopped. Wipe my hands and my countertop where I made a mess. We'll get a fresh bowl to put those tomatoes in. Okay, so we'll put these tomatoes in a bowl on the side here. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get my oven preheated to 375 for my garlic toast. Alright, we're going to go over and check on our bacon again. Alright, it's getting there, but it's going to take a little bit of time for it to get completely done. Alright, so while we're waiting on the bacon to get browned and that water to boil, I'm going to go ahead and put my Texas toast on the pan. This is just easy Texas toast. You can make your own. I was just trying to go for easy tonight. So we're just going to put it on the pan and get it ready for the oven. Okay, so we got that ready. Our bacon's cooking. We got our tomatoes sliced. Our egg mixture's ready still. And we're just waiting on that bacon to get ready. All right, let's go check on our bacon, and we're going to go ahead and put our garlic toast in the oven. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in and set a timer for about 12 minutes. Okay, and our bacon is getting ready. It's almost done. Let it get completely cooked. You kind of want this crispy for this recipe. So we're going to cook it just a little bit more until it gets good and crispy. I have my water ready for my pasta, so I'm going to go ahead and get that pasta break. We'll break that in our boiling water. I did put a good bit of salt in that pasta water, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil also. Okay, our bacon is ready, so I'm going to pull it out piece by piece and put it on a paper towel so it can drain. Turn that down to low. That's what your bacon's going to look like. Pretty crunchy, crispy, and yummy. We're going to let that pot kind of cool off for a second, and then I'm going to dip some of that oil out. And that's just your bacon grease. So you just, and I kind of save my bacon grease. It's up to you. You don't have to. You don't want to. I do, because I use it for other recipes. So I just put it in a jar and save it. Okay. So I'm going to turn this pan off while my spaghetti comes up to a boil. And let it come to, I'm going to let it cool a little bit. And you want this pan to cool a little bit before you start the next step, because the next step is putting garlic in. If you put garlic in that pan with it that hot, it's going to burn it and it'll be real bitter. So you want to wait till your pan kind of cools off a little bit before you put that garlic in there. We'll let our spaghetti get going good over here. Alright, I have my pot cooling off. Spaghetti's going. So as soon as it comes up to a boil, I'm going to let it boil for a few minutes and let it get good and ready, and then I'll drain it, and then we'll start our next step in this recipe. I also have my garlic bread in the oven for about 12 minutes, and I'm watching it. Alright guys, our water's still boiling with our pasta in it. My bread is still in the oven, but now we're going to go to the next step. I've let my pan cool down a little bit. At this point, I'm going to use my minced garlic. And you don't have to use minced. You can cut your own, however. I just use this because it's easier. But we're going to add 3 big heaping tablespoons of this to our pan. So I'm going to just let y'all watch me. So 1. Okay. So now we're going to let that cook. And because the pan has cooled down a little bit, it won't burn. Because we don't want the garlic to burn. We want the garlic to get good and yummy, not burn. Okay, and I like every bit of that garlic. If it makes you feel any better, garlic's really good for your heart. Probably not your breath, but your heart. Okay, so we're going to let that garlic brown up. It gets good and bubbly while it's in there. It's going to get good and brown. We're just letting that stay low and slow while we're letting these noodles finish up. So that's all you do for that. Let me check on these noodles over here. They are almost ready. Okay, so at this point, my noodles are almost ready. I'm going to point y'all where y'all can see me a little better. Noodles are almost ready. So at this point, we're going to take a little bit of this pasta water and reserve it, because we need to use this for the rest of the recipe. So I'm going to dip out and pour me a little bit into a separate bowl. I like to keep about a cup just in case. Okay, So we'll keep that 1 cup of that pasta water and let the pasta finish cooking. It's almost ready. So for me to test my pasta, I get 1 piece and I taste it. It needs a little more salt, so I'm gonna add a little more salt and I'm gonna give it about 2 more minutes. It's not quite ready yet. Pasta takes a lot of salt. Also remember, you don't want to put too much salt because this has bacon in it and bacon's pretty salty, so you just kind of play it a little bit. So we'll let that go for about 2 more minutes. The garlic's done, so we're almost ready to get this pasta carbonara finished and plated up. I'm gonna take you guys over to my sink. I'm gonna go ahead and drain our pasta. So the pasta's ready. I'm gonna sit it back over. So this is our egg mixture. I'm gonna make sure it's good and whipped up. Gotta beat those eggs really good. I'm gonna set it to the side. At this point, I've got my garlic in my pan. It's all cooked up. So now we're going to put our noodles in this pan. Okay, so we got our noodles in the hot pan. I'm gonna turn it down on low. Okay, stirring in all that garlic. That's our bread going off, so I'll get it out in just a second. Just make sure you got all that garlic incorporated into all those noodles. Okay, we got this on low, and so now we're gonna add in this egg mixture. Make sure that your eye is on low. When you pour this in, you're gonna pour it really slowly because you don't want the eggs to scramble. You just want them to make a sauce. So we're gonna pour it in really slow and try not to let it scramble. So we'll pour it in and we're gonna mix. Once I get it all poured, you're gonna pour every bit of it on the top of the spaghetti noodles. Scrape your bowl out, and then nice and slow, we're gonna mix it in. Nice and slow. So those eggs cook in there and the Parmesan melts and it makes a really good creamy sauce. So at this point, now we're gonna see how thick it is. We're gonna add some of that pasta water back in to loosen up that spaghetti. So just a little bit. That's about half that we've added back. So we're gonna add a little more parsley at this point. And we're going to add a little more of that Parmesan cheese. So we added parsley. Now we're going to add a little more of this Parmesan cheese. We're going to sprinkle it around in there. Mix it up really good. Okay. Now that we got that all mixed in, now what we do is add in our bacon that we had draining on that paper towel. We're going to add all of that bacon in on the top. And then we're going to stir that into the pasta mixture. Oh, you guys, I love this recipe. It is so yummy and so easy, so quick. You guys are going to love it. Okay. That is our pasta carbonara. So we're going to go ahead and plate this up in just a minute and we're going to give her a tasty. I'm going to check on our bread real quick. Get it out. Oh yeah, she's ready. So the bread's ready. Now we can get our pasta plated up because it's ready. Turn my oven off. I'm going to get us a bowl. All right, you guys, this is the best part. It's the dipping of the pasta. Oh my goodness, look at that. That looks so yummy. Look how beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna get us a small little piece of bread. And that is our meal, guys. So once we get back over here, I'm gonna zhuzh her up a bit. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan on top. Just a little. And this is when I add my tomatoes. And I just kind of pile a little bit on top of there. So that is pasta carbonara my way. So now we get to give her a tasty. All right, are y'all ready? I'm so ready. I love this. This is my favorite. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Super hot, so nice and slow. Get some of those tomatoes in there. This is gonna be real fun to eat on camera too. Oh my. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. It is so good. So simple, less than 30 minutes, and it's a full meal. You can make a vegetable, whatever to go to the side, but this is the full meal part of it. And it's super easy. You can do this any weeknight, after school, after work, anything. You got a baseball game, softball game, soccer, whatever. Super easy. Get her in, get her out, get her gone. Thank y'all for joining me. Remember, today is Wednesday, so it was savory day. Sunday is sweet. I will have this recipe on the bottom on my description. I'll also have my Instagram link. If y'all have any questions or comments, please comment below. Check out my Instagram for all of the things that I post. And like, share, and subscribe. Please share this with your friends so they can subscribe and get some new recipe ideas. I know as moms, dads, whoever does your cooking, everybody needs new recipes. For these weeknights when the kids are getting home from school, this is one that is a go-to. I promise you will love it. Thanks for joining me. I can't wait to see you again on Sunday. Thanks, guys. Bye.